focusing on Fortinet's FortiMail email security gateway. I suppose the fact that you're here means you understand that email security deserves more attention when it comes to security. It is still the #1 threat vector, which means it's a significant portion of your cybersecurity risk, the risk to your organization. So it deserves the best. So my name is Dan Hegarty, Sales Director of HCS and based in Dublin. We also have with us John White, our Fortinet Certified Security Engineer and Solution Architect, to go through the presentation on FortiMail and to outline its benefits. So just before we do, a few slides and a couple of minutes on HCS, as we have quite a few attending that won't be fully familiar with us. So just on to the slide of who we are. We've been in business since 1994. We're a stable and successful company year after year for the past 26 years, but we've grown more significantly and matured as a company since we opened our offices in Dublin in 2012. But we're not resting on our laurels yet. We have a detailed action plan to effectively double the size of our business over the next 5 years, and Fortinet is going to be a significant part of that. So we've got 35 employees currently, and we're working with over 200 clients nationwide. So we've got a lot of experience built up over a range of clients and requirements over the years. Fortinet Select Partner, Microsoft Gold Partner, these are our two most important vendor relationships, and we concentrate and build our skills and services around their solutions. Just onto the services slide. I'll pick out the more unique ones here. Microsoft 365 productivity solutions. We have a team that enable clients to utilize all the functionality in Microsoft 365, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power BI with underlying SharePoint, and it enables them to digitally transform workflows and processes. We also have HCS Software Solutions, our sister company, and they provide bespoke .NET software development for anyone that might have a requirement there. Just on the next slide, John, a couple of interesting clients and projects that we've completed recently with a focus on Fortinet. So Bellegarde Solicitors is a recent one that's taken on a significant portion of the Fortinet Fabric solution set. They're a law practice, and they're focused on the legal financial services sector, so provide services to the financial services sector. And they're reaping the benefits of simplified management by removing multiple other vendors and replacing it with a single vendor, Fortinet. Keelings, we all know Keelings. They've been a client of HCS for the last 9 years. They have Fortinet next-gen firewalls linking all of their sites across the UK and Ireland. So we've been working with them over the last 9 years to refresh firewalls, etc. And they've got a management platform in FortiCloud to manage those as well. Nearform, company behind Ireland's COVID tracker app, which we should have all have heard. We may well have a couple of Nearform guys on the webinar today. So we should have seen that app at this stage. But they also are a real success story. Based in Tremorham, County Waterford, they provide JavaScript development services globally and to blue chip companies worldwide. So a real success story. A few other clients of note. Partnership slide. We've mentioned already Microsoft Gold Partner, Fortinet Select Partner, Enable, which is our management platforms for managed services. There are 3 key partnerships, and we invest a lot in our relationships with them. Just a few other clients of note that we do business with to demonstrate that we work across a range of industries. So we've got pharmas, we've got manufacturing, we've got a number of companies in the aviation sector, and we have, many more SMBs besides as well, professional services companies that we provide services to, and that could be in an entirely outsourced arrangement, or it could be working hand in hand with IT managers as well. So I think I'm keeping it brief purposely because John has a good 20 or 25, 30 minutes to go through FortiMail. So without further ado, I'll pass you over to John, who will take you through FortiMail. But just one note as well, if any questions crop up in your mind as John's going through this, just feel free to ask them in the chat window on the bottom right of your screen, and then we can address those afterwards. So I'll pass you over to John. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Dan, and welcome everyone to our presentation on the Fortinet Secure Email Gateway Solution, FortiMail. I'll just turn off my video there, just getting a bit conscious of looking at myself. So basically, as mentioned, my name is John White and I work for HCS as a Fortinet lead technical resource. I currently have NSE 7 and 20 years plus experience implementing IT infrastructure and security solutions. Today, I will be covering the FortiMail solution and discussing some of its major benefits for organizations. First, let's start by looking back at some of the key aspects of the current state of email usage and email security in general. Although a lot of people, especially the younger generation, regard email as an old technology, it still easily accounts for most business communication. Looking at these figures from Radaka, we see that email usage in terms of users and volume is still growing. But within that growth, there's also some important trends. We're seeing a big move to cloud-based services. There are over 200 million organizations using Office 365 and over 6 million paying G Suite customers. And those are ever-increasing numbers. So email is not going anywhere. All the prediction of email's demise in favor of messaging and other technologies were misguided. These technologies are simply supplementing email, which continues to grow. The key point is that email is still a critical importance to all organizations. And that growth means that email, unfortunately, remains the #1 tool for cyber criminals and other bad actors. Consider that in the Verizon 2020 data breach investigations report, it was found that 96% of all malware was delivered via email. The US Department of Justice found that one single phishing campaign alone stole 31 terabytes of data. And the FBI estimates that business email compromise alone exposed businesses to approximately $1.8 billion in loss in the US alone. So that's okay, isn't it? There are many vendors offering us to help with these challenges. They include industry stalwarts, small pure play vendors, and even the email providers themselves like Microsoft. So we've all got something in place to protect our email system. So we're all good, right? Well, no, not necessarily. Email security still poses many challenges for organizations today, whether it's the changing threat landscape, the move to SaaS-based email, or even the wide range of data privacy regulations that require email controls to prevent the exposure of sensitive information. In fact, in Gartner's recent email security market guide, they've asserted that security and risk management leaders must revisit their organization's email security architecture in light of today's email threats. They also note that by 2021, 70% of public and private companies will be using cloud email services. And as well as these changes, there are also some challenges organizations are seeing with their existing email security solutions. A lot of these solutions have been around for a long time, and not all have kept pace with the changing threat landscape. And surprisingly, they can also include some more recent additions to the field, as we'll see in a moment. So many existing solutions have diminished in effectiveness over time, or are missing key capabilities to address newly emerging approaches taken by the bad actors out there. So there are also just organizational challenges amongst vendors. Email security is a mature sector, and there are lots of solutions that have changed hands in mergers and acquisitions. and that can often lead to stagnating roadmaps or problems with support provision. Like with Broadcom's recent acquisition of Symantec, which has halted further development of their email security product and severely impacted support for existing customers. One specific challenge, though, which is relevant to what we've mentioned just a moment ago in terms of the big movement of email to the cloud, is that Gartner are seeing here in terms of the two big SaaS email providers, many organizations moving to Office 365 or the Google Suite are finding that the security features within these services are not as effective as they require. So they're needing to supplement them with other solutions. And it's not just Gartner that are seeing that. If we look at SE Labs' most recent email security testing results here, we'll see that for Office 365, even with advanced threat protection option, which Microsoft offer, their results in independent testing are definitely well below par. So given the continuing growth of email, the ever-present threat that it contains, and the challenges with some of the solutions out there, I want to spend some time looking at how Fortinet can help organizations step up to these challenges. Now, FortiMail, Fortinet's secure email gateway offering, obviously contains all of the standard email security functionality and capabilities in terms of spam, virus, and malware protection, quarantine handling, reporting and management, and so on. And we can easily cover these aspects on dedicated demos if you want to see them. But today, I want to focus on some of the things that set FortiMail apart from the rest. As a company overall, and with regard to email security in particular, Fortinet participate in the most independent testing of all the vendors out there to ensure you have confidence that you're getting strong protection from Fortinet solutions. Fortinet offer the widest range of form factors, not just the traditional physical and virtual appliances, but also SaaS and even public cloud options. So regardless of the deployment that's right for you, the protection remains the same. Fortinet offer an evolving solution to match the evolving threat landscape. Security is Fortinet's business. FortiMail isn't just a static solution in Fortinet's product portfolio. Fortinet add capabilities and features to meet the changing threat and email landscape. That protection not only secures against email-based attacks, but because it's an integrated part of Fortinet's unique security fabric platform, you can also dynamically generate and share intelligence gained from those attacks to improve your overall security posture. So let's look at these aspects in a little more detail. Let's start with a brief look at some third-party views on FortiMail. As I mentioned, Fortinet is an organization believes strongly in third-party testing and assessment of their security solutions. And as you can see, FortiMail has earned the top VBS Spam Plus rating with 99.9% plus spam catch rate and 0% false positives. The top SE Labs AAA rating against a wide range of advanced threats. ICSA Advanced Threat Detection, email certification quarterly since their first test in December 2016. And FortiSandbox, which is often deployed with FortiMail, as we shall discuss more in a minute, has NSS Labs recommended ratings for 5 consecutive years, having most recently detected 99.9% of SMTP malware with few false positives. I'll just briefly go over, this is one of Fortinet's many customer examples, which shows that it can cover from small right up to very large and a financial establishment. Form factor choice. And that leads us to form factor and deployment choices, because every organization is different. Some are cloud first, others need to make more pragmatic approaches and need hybrid approaches for mixed environments. Fortinet believes in offering complete flexibility in form factor and scaling capability. Fortinet support the widest range of form factors. Some vendors, like Microsoft, only offer SaaS. Others, like Proofpoint, may offer SaaS and appliances, but not public cloud. By contrast, you can select FortiMail as physical or virtual appliances for deployment on-premise or in your private cloud, with a range of appliance sizes covering everything from SMB to service provider throughput. A fully Fortinet hosted and managed solution in the shape of the FortiMail cloud service. Or you can get FortiMail for AWS or Azure and run it in your own public cloud. As well as the form factor choice, there's also deployment flexibility to meet your scenario. Most commonly, FortiMail can be deployed in gateway mode as a secure email gateway, in which mail is delivered to FortiMail, scrubbed of threats, and forwarded to your destination mail server. You can also choose transparent inline mode, commonly utilized in the ISP and carrier environment to prevent blacklisting of shared IP addresses. Or full server mode, where it provides mailboxes as well as mail security. So for examples of this may be academic institutions that want to provide a mail platform for students. And FortiMail also has Office 365 API integration, allow you to implement an out-of-band solution to complement your Office 365 system. And looking at that Office 365 integration in more detail, as we've said, many organizations are choosing to make that journey to the cloud, but finding that the email security included in Office 365 is not sufficient. To assist these organizations, Fortinet want to offer as much flexibility as possible. So that can mean deploying FortiMail as a traditional inline secure email gateway in front of your Office 365 system. As an out-of-band option, using Office 365 APIs to perform scanning and clawback of items delivered directly into Office 365. Or in a mixed approach, where you use FortiMail system inline to automatically scan inbound and outbound mails while utilizing scheduled or real-time API-based scanning to help protect against propagation of threats on internal emails. And that is just one example of the new developments Fortinet continue to make to FortiMail. Fortinet don't regard email security as a static picture. There's a never-changing threat landscape out there. So Fortinet keep pace by enhancing the capabilities of FortiMail. Now, we don't have enough time to cover all the advanced threat protection capabilities of FortiMail. And I don't just want to throw a big list of features at you. So let's just take a minute or two to look at one or two of the enhanced capabilities in FortiMail and some of the extensions you can add on to the solution to enhance it even further. Most of the threat in the content of an email comes from potentially risky HTML tags and URLs in the email body, or active content within any attachments. The content disarm and reconstruction feature is designed to help you mitigate that risk. This feature will find all such content and allow you to use various options, from converting to text, sanitizing HTML content, removing URLs, through to integration with other capabilities like click protection or Fortisolator, which we shall see in more detail in a second. The key ability is being able to customize the level of approach you want to take to match the risk mitigation level you want to achieve as an organization, and to give you the tools to address some of the methods bad actors use to try to get around your security. One such method used in phishing attacks especially is to delay the activation of the bad payload connected to by URLs until after email has been scanned. For example, a spammer can send out a batch of emails on Friday night, knowing that few recipients are going to open them until Monday. They're still going to get scanned by the recipient's email security system as they arrive on the Friday night through. If that email contains a URL and the email security system has the ability to check the reputation of that URL, then because the spammer has not yet applied any payload to the site connected to by the URL, it comes back as clean, and the mail gets delivered to the user's mailbox on the Friday night. On Saturday or Sunday, the spammer then compromises the website and activates their payload. Now that the user comes in on Monday and clicks on the URL in that email they've received, it's going to a bad site and they're going to get hit. So when the FortiMail content disarm and redirection feature is set to use click protection, What happens is that on the Friday night, when the emails are first received, FortiMail replaces all the URLs in the mail with one that points to the FortiMail click protection service. Now, when the user comes in on Monday and clicks the URL, it doesn't go to the compromised site directly. Instead, it goes to FortiMail and triggers a reputation check at that point in time. And now that the site is known as a compromised site, it will come back bad and the access is blocked. So the check is performed at the time of the user click rather than simply at initial email receipt and scanning. Taking that a step further, you can add FortiSolator to the mix. In this case, the URLs in the email are rewritten to point to FortiSolator. Now, when the user clicks the link, it is opened in an isolated browser, completely air-gapped from the user's machine. This can be combined with click protection to ensure maximum protection against zero-day malware and phishing threats. Click protection shall check the rating at the time of click. If it's bad, and will block it. But if it's still unrated or good, it will send it to be opened in FortiSolator rather than in the user's browser. So even if a threat is completely unknown, you are still removing the risk by accessing it in an isolated system. We can perform a similar task with attachments by using the integration between FortiMail and FortiSandbox. We can define which type of incoming attachments we want FortiMail to send to FortiSandbox for deep analysis before choosing whether we deliver the email or not. So FortiSandbox can mimic various operating environments in order to execute executable attachments or open documents and so on. It then monitors the actions of doing so to detect whether there is any suspicious or malicious payload within the attachment. It then applies a rating and returns the result to FortiMail to allow FortiMail to decide which action to take based on the policies you've set up. You can deliver the email, reject the mail, place it in system or personal quarantine, etc. So again, this is perfect for unknown or zero-day threats which haven't yet been picked up by the FortiGuard service. And this touches on our security fabric approach, which we'll talk about more in a second. Because if you're using FortiGate next generation firewalls in your environment, they can share that same sandbox knowledge. So if an email comes in with an attachment that FortiSandbox classifies as suspicious, that knowledge is immediately available to FortiGate to stop that file coming in any other network traffic like Dropbox or a browser download. But email security is not only about inbound threats. We want to apply security to our outbound emails also. So FortiMail has a variety of capabilities in this regard. From data leak prevention to help you stop confidential data being deliberately or accidentally sent out, which helps enormously with regulatory compliance, to encryption, whether that be simple SMTP-based encryption to secure things at a traffic level, or identity-based encryption to allow you to send completely secure email to recipients without the need or any security key exchange. And that IBE can even be triggered automatically by policy. So if an email contains certain content, it should be encrypted. Or if it is between specific senders and recipients, and so on. And also on the compliance front, if you need to retain email, FortiMail appliances can assist in archiving emails, again based on specific criteria that you define. So in talking about FortiSandbox and the sharing of information between FortiMail and FortiGate, we mentioned the Fortinet security fabric, which enables integration like this. So I just want to finish off by touching on that a little more. As I said, Fortinet called this the Fortinet security fabric. And we feel that this is a great differentiator for Fortinet in the market. Fortinet solutions are designed to integrate with each other and share information where it makes sense in order to leverage security findings and capabilities in one area across all those that can benefit from it. So the security fabric solutions are extensive, We won't go into detail on the full suite, but just bear in mind that there are Fortinet solutions across the board to help you build an integrated approach to not only your email security, but all across the network level, out in the cloud applications and right down to the endpoint themselves. From a FortiMail perspective, there are three main categories of integration. Fortinet have the threat intelligence service provided by FortiGuard, which includes automated AI-driven analysis of millions of email-borne threats per day, allowing that global intelligence to be shared out to every single FortiMail customer and to any other Fortinet systems you may have. There's the enhanced zero-day threat capabilities, which we've already mentioned, that comes from integration with FortiSandbox and FortiSolator. And there's integrated management, reporting, and response capabilities, which avoids the management and analysis overhead that you suffer from if you have a non-integrated multi-vendor set of solutions across your environment. So I hope that we've been able to explain today how FortiMail can help you in addressing some of the key challenges that exist in email security and the increasing level of move of mail to the cloud. There's much more we can say about specific advanced features and capabilities, but the simplest way for you to compare FortiMail to your existing email security solution is to take part in what we call a FortiMail CTAP, that Cyber Threat Assessment Program, where you can implement FortiMail completely transparently alongside your existing solution and see what is going through your existing system, which FortiMail can stop, as well as providing you with some insights into your mail metrics. So if that is something that interests you, or a full-blown proof of concept, then speak to one of our sales team here at HCS, and they can get the ball rolling on that for you. What's included in the email assessment report? The report focuses on three main areas. As I say, it's a great tool for assessing the value of a move to FortiMail. At the moment, that is support for those in Office 365 or G Suite, but for others, we can look at doing a full-blown proof of concept to allow you to get an even more hands-on look at FortiMail. Okay. So please, the details. So if there's any questions or anything now, we can switch back on. Dan, Kathy?
Hello. Yep.
Hello. Yep.
Thanks, John.
Hi, Dan.
Just two questions came through there in the chat, John. The first one, can we use this email solution along with Microsoft 365's advanced threat protection for email?
Yes, you can. It'll supplement it and add the features of the FortiMail device on top of your Office 365 solution. Yep.
And the second one, we already have the whitelist on our existing email security solution. Can this be migrated into FortiMail?
That is something we would have to look at and discuss. It will be based on your existing system and how it can export those whitelists. But generally, yes, if they can be exported, then yes, we can import them into FortiMail.
Okay, so that's all the questions that came through in the chat. If anybody's interested in learning more about the CTAP or the proof of concept that John touched on there.
I was just going to say, Kathy, as well, it's worth mentioning that there's also a network CTAP,
right,
cybersecurity threat assessment program. So we can also install a FortiGate on your network and effectively get a full report on your network security.
Which is great for showing you the traffic that's going through and how a FortiGate would enhance your network security capabilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but as well, sorry, Kathy, as well, I suppose cybersecurity and people with those skill sets are hard to find, and you want to make it as easy as possible. And having one platform that manages all of those elements is going to be less of a stress on that person, and
everything joins up in the fabric. Yeah.
So context switching, they call it, switching between different vendors for different elements of security is a bad idea, and that's where the Fortinet fabric brings it all together.
Yeah.
Great. So if anybody wants us to follow up with them, if you want to just pop the word yes into the chat. It's moderated, so it'll only be myself and John and Dan that are able to see that comment, and we'll follow up with you in the next few days. So I think that's pretty much everything.
Okay.
Excellent.
Great. I'd like to thank everybody for attending today. Thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
Thanks all for coming along.
And in the future.
There will be a recording sent out to you all of today's webinar, so you'll have it for reference.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.